Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that's out of the ordinary, into a different world, a different dimension. We call it the Twilight Zone. I guess Rod Serling, I think his name is Serling or Sterling, came up with an idea of a show about an alternative world. Now, knowing him, I read a little biography of him a long time ago. This wiki page, let's be honest, we don't go to using encyclopedias anymore. God forbid if we actually open up a book and actually read a book. Now, Rod Serling was possibly a pioneer in expanding the horizons of science fiction. Authors like Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, most of them is famous for a book called I, Robot, in which I believe where robots start to become human, and the robots are starting to eliminate human life as we speak. That's sort of like the main story of I, Robot. But I digress. Then we get into George Orwell. Most notably, his claim to fame was the book 1984 and Animal Farm. He's very famous for, and in his own way, trying to reach his audience. I believe his audience was pretty much possibly to university students in England, Oxford, Manchester, Cambridge, and those colleges that have a high degree of quote unquote enlightenment and prestige, and be able to open up a whole new world of what socialism is, what it's supposed to be, as it is sort of warped into a belief that socialism is nothing more than a dictatorship covered up with one man running the whole show. That's not what socialism is. But we all know that. So you have George Orwell, 1984. Then you have Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. This wasn't a hope to go out above and beyond the horizons of going where no man has ever gone before, exploring the whole universe in the place called the USS Enterprise. The whole premise of the show was of a captain named Captain James Kirk and his crew searching the known universe to come out to find intelligent life as they know it, or places where they could actually live based upon human needs, criteria, basically. So in that show, this shows a different aspect of how one country or one planet can broker deals to make or break a peace, make a peace treaty between two nations, or two planets or two planetary systems. Your choice. Then you have Rod Serling, the Twilight Zone. Most notably, you can say this guy was very much of a genius, pretty much of an evil genius at that. You would take a good concept of what is reality and put a little twist to it. Put a little paranormal to a different reality, making the story so not believable to the very end. And then when the story starts to unravels and everything's started to come together and all the bits and pieces there, you say, what the hell was that all about? And you're kind of left wondering, that was not supposed to happen. But it did. We're in a time that's just like that. We are in a time where the reality is this: Trump is the bad guy. He really is bad. He's terrible. He's a whole person. He's alienated a lot of people. He destroyed a lot of people's lives. And he's still going to continue to do so to the day he dies. That's just a given. Now, you take a little spin on him. What was supposed to happen? Kamala Harris was supposed to become president of the United States on Tuesday. That did not happen. I knew for a long time. He tried to mess with a system that's geared towards rich white men. They fight back, and they fight back hard, and they fight dirty. It's only a matter of time where we, the rich white man in America, tells you what to do. Will be we the people once again. We never had a really good time since possibly the 1900s when Theodore Roosevelt became president of the United States. He enjoyed breaking up trusts. Then you had Franklin Delano Roosevelt, very upwardly positive man, regardless of his polio that he had. He decided to dream the impossible. He gave the American people something to strive for. What do we do in 1980? We vote for people who wanted to demolish something that was good and it is still good today. You're talking about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. You're talking about an infrastructure. But most of the money, it goes straight into the military budget. Now, just imagine this. Trump's thrown. Trump dies in office. J.D. Vance becomes the vice president. Guess who becomes the vice president under him? I want to say We'll get back to you. Hakeem Jeffries, I believe, is supposed to be the next person in line. You know, you got a trifecta. Supreme Court's tied up. You got the presidential tied up, and he also got Congress tied up. If you're Donald Trump, you say you'd be the luckiest man alive to have that big trifecta coming January 20th. Well, my friends, a lot of times when you have the spoils of war and you're still in charge, you're going to find every way to say fuck you to the next administration. And as we speak it now, chances are 20 others, the governor of Wisconsin, as well as J.B. Pritzker, are planning a coup of a lifetime. I'm saying this with all sincerity. I believe what's going to happen is they took over his motorcade and no children are allowed on it. So they're cooking up something big from the Midwest. They're constantly tapping the shoulders of the Attorney General saying, hey, listen, what's we need? Listen, what needs to happen? Can you make it happen? So we make sure when we go up against Trump, we are the plaintiffs in the case, we want to win. And when they will. So, just because a person lost the election does not mean they lost the war. Trump, by any chance, could just die before he takes office or dies in office. And it doesn't matter. What matters is policy and whether or not the policies that America has made is going to be made with the purpose of helping the American people. If it's not, you got to throw that bill away. So, I forgot what the message was. We're about. Oh, the Twilight Zone. Just because you may see this as so surreal, you're not living it that way. So you're living a life that's kind of warped in his own reality and his own mind. Just mind what you do. That's what I was trying to say. I know a story from the Twilight Zone about a parent sending their 12-year-old son to have it be tested. If he passed a certain level, he was executed for being too intelligent for this government. And if they want to go in that direction, they certainly will go in that direction. I'm not going to put it past you that they won't. So, what I conclude today is this. Just because you think you live in the Twilight Zone doesn't mean you have to participate in the Twilight Zone. The craziness, the barbarianism. I don't think, for the life of me, no Democrats going to go up there, or no left-wing nut jobs going to go up there to do what Trump did in January 6th of 2020. I don't see that happening. But I will see a lot of walkouts. And what better to do walking out on Donald Trump is if people start going from the front and start retreating to the back. That'd be like an ultimate insult to his ego. This is we're not talking about egos. We're talking about what's best for America. You can all the shit show you want. You can blame the voters, and I definitely do not blame the voters in this. This was kind of a complete fair and square election. With few doohies here and there. The thing is, Kamala Harris was not ready for the big time. But their minds just open up and just change overnight. Who knows? All right, signing off tonight.